So Huawei has just announced a Leica camera with a phone attached, the P9, which promises to be a game changer in smartphone photography. I'm Chris Carlin for Android Authority. Let's take a look and see if the Huawei P9 has what it takes to spark the revolution. Design-wise, the Huawei P9 is very similar to its predecessor, the P8. You've got the same chamfered edges, brushed metal, and overall design styling, with a few minor changes like a textured power button, the headphone port has moved to the bottom edge, and there's only a single speaker grill this time. The Huawei P9 is just 6.95mm thin though, which is a pretty impressive design feat, but we didn't necessarily come here for the design. The biggest feature of the P9 is undoubtedly the dual camera array on the back, co-engineered with German optics maker Leica. Now, there's two 12 megapixel lenses that allow you to shoot wide angle and bokeh effects as well as selective focusing, but there's no camera bump at all, even on a phone this thin. So we've got an RGB sensor for capturing color information and another monochrome sensor for capturing fine detail. This setup allows the Huawei P9 to increase contrast by 50% and light sensitivity by 300%. The P9 introduces a hybrid autofocus which combines laser, depth and contrast focusing, so you'll be using both camera lenses and the laser focus with a dedicated depth measurement chip to isolate the best focal length. Leica's influence on the camera app can be felt with tons and tons of modes, presets and settings to fool around with, as well as a full manual mode for fine-grain control. But unfortunately there's no optical image stabilization on either lens. Up front there's an 8 megapixel camera with beauty mode and perfect selfie for all you selfie fans, and on the display front we've got a 5.2 inch Full HD IPS screen, same size and resolution as the P8, but it does seem to offer a few improvements in terms of quality. On the software front, we've got Android 6.0 Marshmallow straight out of the box, as well as Emotion UI 4.1, but the software is a very similar experience to what you would know from other Huawei phones, so don't expect anything too radically different on that front. The P9 also introduces USB Type-C as well as a finger scanner that's apparently a marked improvement over previous Huawei finger scanners, which were already pretty impressive. The new finger scanner is a Class 4 scanner, which apparently can sense differences in fingerprint ridges in 3 dimensions. P9 also has the latest Kirin processor, the 955, 3000 mAh battery, and a few different variations for storage, 32GB with a 3GB of RAM and 64GB with a 4GB of RAM option, and they will both be available in mid-April. Of course, there is also a larger version of the P9 as well, the Huawei P9 Plus. Now, it bumps things up a little by bringing a 5.5 inch AMOLED display, but unfortunately it's still full HD as well, but it brings a few other improvements like Press Touch, a slightly larger battery, an IR blaster and some other improvements. It'll be available mid-May and comes in 64GB and 128GB versions with 4GB of RAM each. In terms of pricing, the P9 is not exactly cheap. The base model with 32GB of storage is €599, the slightly larger one at 64 is €649, and the P9 Plus with 64GB and 4GB of RAM is $749. Now, Huawei is not talking specifics on the US market, but these devices will reportedly be hitting the States sometime this year. The Huawei P9 ticks a lot of boxes, but there just sort of seems like something is missing. It's hard to put a finger on it because the phone offers so many improvements over its predecessor, but I guess we'll have to wait for the full review to find out if the new Leica camera really is all it's cracked up to be. Till next time guys, hit the comments, let us know what you think of the new Huawei P9 and P9 Plus. Hit that subscribe button, like this video if you have, and keep it locked to Android Authority, your source for all things Android.